Good morning. Myself, Dr. Balasubramaniam, working as assistant professor in the Department of Zoology, Government First Grade College, Chintamani. Students, today we will discuss about the general characters of Phylum Porifera. General characters of Phylum Porifera. Now this topic belongs to the first semester BSc Zoology syllabus of Bangalore North University, and this is session 14. Learning objective of the topic: to understand the general characters and classification of the Phylum Porifera. The second objective is that to understand the different classes of Phylum Porifera with example. Session outcome: the students able to know or have a basic knowledge on the general characters of Phylum Porifera. Further, the different classes of Phylum Porifera. Further, the different examples of Phylum Porifera. Recap of the previous classes. Now we studied the general characters of Phylum Porifera. Protozoa. We studied the general characters of Phylum Protozoa. The classification of Phylum Protozoa with examples, and also we saw the nutrition in the case of the protozoa, the locomotion in the case of the protozoa, particularly the amoeba, the paramecium, and the euglena. Lastly, we also studied in the previous classes the conjugation in the case of the paramecium. Now we jump into the general characters of Phylum Porifera. When we see the general characters of Phylum Porifera, the Phylum Porifera is the second major phylum in the animal world. In the entire animal world, we see the first phylum as the Phylum Protozoa. The second phylum is the Phylum Porifera. Now, what is meant by Porifera? Hey, Porifera means, pores means, there are pori means pores, are some openings, are some holes. Fera is to bear. Fera is to bear, to have, to possess. So these are pore-bearing animals. The members of the Porifera are pore-bearing animals. They have the pores on the body. Now that is the meaning of Porifera. Now when you see the general characters of Phylum Porifera, the Phylum Porifera are showing the multicellular structure. They have many cells. Multicellular organization. Multicellular organisms. When you look back at the protozoa, that is the first phylum. So there are unicellular organisms. There are unicellular organisms. While these animals are multicellular animals, they have many cells are there. And they show the cellular level of organization. Cells are there. Now, protozoa ನಾವು acellular level of organization ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇರೋದು acellular level of organization. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ cellular level of organization. They show the cellular level of organization. That is, many cells are there. But these cells are found individually. Separate ಆಗಿದೆ. So they are found individually. Many cells are there. So therefore they are called cellular level of organization. Now this condition also called apparent diploblastic condition. It is called apparent diploblastic condition. And in this phylum, the cells are not combined to form the tissue. So they occur at the cell level. Tissues illa. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ cellular level of organizations are there. Second point ಅಲ್ಲಿ, all are aquatic, all are living in the water, mostly marine, mostly living in the salt water, some are freshwater. So example, spongilla is a freshwater, while the majority of the animals like the cycon, like the ascon, like the euplectella, like the hyloneuma, like the cliona, all they occur in the salt waters. Third point ಅಲ್ಲಿ, they may be solitary or colonial. ಸಾಲಿಟರಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ದ ಕಾಲನಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಆರ್ ಸೆಸೈಲ್, ಆಲ್ ಆರ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಸೆಸೈಲ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವರ್ಡು ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸು ಆರ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೆಡೆಂಟ್ರಿ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸೆಡೆಂಟ್ರಿ, ಸೆಸೈಲ್, ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್. See, all the members of the Porifera are fixed forms, sessile forms, sedentary forms. ನಾಲ್ಕನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಾಡಿ ಈಸ್ ವಾಶ್ ಶೇಪ್ಡ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಸೈಕಾನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಶ್ ಶೇಪ್ ಇದೆ. ಸಿಲಿಂಡ್ರಿಕಲ್, ಯೂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಟಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಸಿಲಿಂಡ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಶೇಪ್. ಟ್ಯೂಬುಲಾರ್, ಮೆನಿ ಬ್ರಾಂಚ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ ಕುಷನ್ ಶೇಪ್ಡ್, ಆಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಪಾಂಜಿಲಾ. It is a tubular, many branched or cushion shaped. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಯೂಸ್ಪಾಂಜಿಯಾ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಬಾತ್ ಸ್ಪಾಂಜ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಬಾತ್ ಸ್ಪಾಂಜ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಸ್ಪಾಂಜಿನ್ ಫೈಬರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಪಾಂಜಿನ್ ಫೈಬರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲಿ? ಯೂಸ್ಪಾಂಜಿಯಾ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಬಾತ್ ಸ್ಪಾಂಜ್. ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಾಡಿ ವಾಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಔಟರ್ ಪಿನಾಕೋಡರ್ಮ್ which consist of pinacocytes, and inner coenoderm which consist of coenocytes, and middle mesenchyme. So outer pinacoderm which is consisting of the many cells, and inner coenoderm which consists of again many cells. These coenoderm cells are called collar cells or nutritive cells. They are lining the cavity, that is a spongocoel. They line the spongocoel. Then there is the outer pinacoderm which consists of pinacocytes meant for protection, and middle mesenchyme is there. So this mesenchyme has the spicules and many cells, namely the archocytes, the thymocytes, the chromocytes, etc. ಆರನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, body wall has many pore canals and chambers for the flow of water. The water enter through the dermal ostia. ವಾಟರ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಡರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಸ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಅನಿಮಲ್ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಡರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಸ್ಟಿಯಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಲ್ಯಾಟ್ರಲ್ ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಡರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಸ್ಟಿಯಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ದಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಟು ದಿ ಸ್ಪಾಂಜೋಸೀಲ್. They enter to the spongocoel, and from the spongocoel the water exits through the osculum. So exits, it exits, it will exit through the water osculum. It exits through the osculum. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಸರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ exit through the osculum. Skeleton is calcareous or siliceous spicules or protein sponge and fibers. The skeleton consists of calcareous or siliceous spicules. So they may be made up of calcium, they may be made up of silica, or they may be made up of protein sponge and fibers. Based on this character, the phylum Porifera divisible into 3 classes, namely class Calcarea. So andre the spicules are made up of calcium. Then class Exactinlida, the spicules are made up of either calcium or silica or both. And spongin fibers, that is the members of the demon spongia, that is the third class. 3 classes are there in the phylum Porifera. Next character. Digestion is intracellular that take place inside the cells. Digestion is intracellular that occur inside the cells. Respiration by means of diffusion. Respiration by means of diffusion, the exchange of gases by means of diffusion. The oxygen enter to the cells and carbon dioxide exit from the cells. There are no specialized excretory and respiratory organs. There are no specialized excretory and respiratory organs. In some forms, there may be contractile vacuoles for osmoregulation. In some forms, there may be contractile vacuole for osmoregulation. Next point. All sponges are hermaphrodites. That means bisexual. Male gonads and female gonads are found in the same organism. Or they may be monoecious. But cross-fertilization is a rule. Self-fertilization agalla. Yenagutte cross-fertilization agtade. Next category. Asexual reproduction by means of gemule formation. Asexual reproduction means by means of gemule formation. So under unfavorable condition, the gemules are formed in some organisms. Upon the return of the favorable conditions, the gemules opens and these gemules have the micropyle, and through the micropyle many cells, archaeocytes, exit and they form the new sponges. So asexual reproduction also by means of budding. That is another type of asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction by means of ovum and sperm. The sperm and ovum are produced by the respective gonads and sexual reproduction occurs. The cleavage is holoblastic. ಅಂದರೆ zygote 2 equal cells ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. That is a holoblastic. Development is indirect with the ciliated larva, namely parenchyma larva or amphiblastula larva. Next point. All sponges have great power of regeneration. So they can regrow the lost parts. That is the regeneration. They can regrow the lost parts. Next point. Water canal system may be asconoid type, syconoid type, leuconoid type and dragonoid type. Asconoid type in the ascon, syconoid type in the sycon, leuconoid type in the advanced poriferans, particularly the spongilla and the euspongia, we find the leuconoid type of water canal system, and dragonoid type we find in the larval forms of the poriferans. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಫೈಲಮ್ ಪೋರಿಫೆರಾ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. As I told, based on the nature of the spicules, the phylum Protozoa classified into 3 classes, namely class Calcarea, example is ascon and sycon. Class Hexactinida, example is Euplectal and Hyloneuma. Class Demon Spongia, example is Spongilla and Euspongia. So these are the 3 classes of Phylum Porifera. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕೇರಿಯಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ascon. This animal is ascon, simple organism, and second organism is sycon. Next class Hexactinida. Class Hexactinida examples are the Euplectella. There is a Venus flower basket. It's commonly called Venus flower basket. Hexactinida. Hyloneuma, commonly called glass rope sponge. Glossy agide, rope ide, sponge ide. So there is a rope and terminal side ಅಲ್ಲಿ there is a body. Next, ಡೆಮೋಸ್ಪಾಂಜಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಸ್ಪಾಂಜಿಲಾ is a freshwater sponge, but the euspongia is a marine water sponge, so also called bath sponge. So this is advanced poriferans. So there is a complex type of water canal system here. That is a leuconoid type of water canal system is there. ಈಗ ರೀಕ್ಯಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜನರಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೋರಿಫೆರಾ ನಾವು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಒಂದು 15ರಿಂದ 16 ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೋರಿಫೆರಾದಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಫೈಲಮ್ Porifera has 3 classes, namely class Calcarea, class Exactinida, class Demospongia. Also the different examples of the phylum Porifera. ಈಗ multiple choice questions ಅಲ್ಲಿ body of cycon has numerous dermal ostia for the entry of water. It's not spicules or coinoderm or gemmules. So it is the correct answer is the dermal ostia. Poriferans are also called sponges. The common name for poriferans is sponges because of the nature of their body. It's not cnidarians or comb jellies or slippery animalcules. Comb jellies and the ctenophorans, cnidarians and the coelentrates, slippery animalcules is a paramecia. Third point, dash are the totipotent cells in the sponges. So the archaeocytes are the totipotent cells. It's not the myocytes, muscle cells, chromocytes, color cells, thyrocytes. These are not the correct answer. The archaeocytes or the amoebocytes are the totipotent cells. So these cells are helpful in the regeneration. Asexual reproduction occurs by means of buds or gemmules in sponges. So there is no fusion of gametes, hangé reproduction ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Without the fusion of gametes, the reproduction occurs. That's called asexual reproduction. So the examples are the gemmules, or the buds or the gemmules. It's not spongin fibers or the tubules or the contractile vacuoles. The correct answer is the gemmules. Members of the Calcarea include ascon and cycon. The members of the Calcarea includes the ascon and cycon. Euplectala belong to the Exactinida. Thena and Clinolia, they belong to the different class. But Calcarea vandaga, cycon and ascon belong to the same class. So hope you understood some of the characteristics of Phylum Porifera and with examples. Thank you.